Morning, everybody. UFC 278 official weigh-ins about to get underway. Shooting some photographs and different stuff along the way, but we'll chat here when we can. Been a little while since we've been able to do this, so excited to be here in Salt Lake City. Big fight card. T-Bone in the house. Peter Pan with the deuces. Joe from H-Town. Always good to see my man Joe from H-Town. Oh, let me step up here.
If they need to talk to you, all come get you.
Sitting next to my man Cold Coffee, so we may have a little bleed over on the MMA Junkie stream. I don't know how to control my voice. It's just something I'm not good at.
You're 32?
I get kind of loud. Yes, sir. T-Bone, happy to be back in a live stream again. Been a little while. John Anik got a microphone over there. He'll be emceeing the event. Josh Hernandez. Hopefully you can hear me a little better now. I forgot I had turned the microphone down earlier.
All right, folks, quick announcement before we get going. Due to a medical issue, Shanna Young has been removed from her women's flyweight bout against Miranda Maverick. As such, this bout has been canceled. We are down to 12 fights. The new start time, 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow for UFC 278. We'll get going here with the official weigh-in a moment.
All right, so saw some reports this morning, but it has been made official. Miranda Maverick versus Shanna Young off. All right, we'll get this thing started. Looks like we got the commission in place. We're going to get things going and pay attention. Then we can we'll chat a little bit when we can. Enjoy the weigh-ins. What's going on, California Love? Look, I'm going with Usman. I don't see how you pick against Usman at this point, but I am intrigued by the fight, especially if for some reason, Usman decides to strike. You know what I mean? Which doesn't seem completely out of the realm of possibility.
All right, thank you all for being here for the official weigh-in for UFC 278, Usman versus Edwards 2. 12 fights coming your way here live Saturday night, and we begin with the man around whom this fight card was built. The undisputed UFC welterweight champion set to make the 6th defense of his title, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
On the nose.
170, the official weight for the champion, Kamaru Usman. All right, next fighter to the scale is the other man on the marquee, set for his first UFC championship opportunity, the number 2 ranked UFC welterweight contender, Leon Rocky Edwards.
On the nose.
170, the official weight for Leon Edwards. And with that, your UFC welterweight championship main event is now official. All right, next athlete to hit the scale, competing in a prelim in the UFC's flyweight division, Daniel Da Silva. $126 for Daniel Da Silva. All right, next fighter to the scale. We stay in the flyweight division as we welcome the 11th ranked contender, Amir Al-Bazzi. $126, the official weight for Amir Al-Bazzi. All right, staying in the flyweight division, we now say hello to Victor Altamirano. $125, the official weight for Victor Altamirano. All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card live on ESPN Plus, making his light heavyweight debut, Harry Hunsucker. $204.5, the official weight for Harry Hunsucker. All right, next athlete to weigh in, competing in a prelim in the flyweight division, Francisco Figueiredo.
$125.5.
125.5, the official weight for Francisco Figueiredo. All right, next athlete to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view here tomorrow in the UFC bantamweight division, Wu Yanan.
$136.
136, the official weight for Wu Yanan. All right, next athlete to weigh in the UFC's lightweight division. A lot of support in the building for this man, Jared Flash Gordon.
$155.5.
155.5 for Jared Gordon. All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's welterweight division, Ange Losa.
$170.5.
170.5, the official weight for Ange Losa. All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of the co-main event in the UFC's middleweight division, former world title challenger and number 6 ranked contender, Paulo Costa. $185.5, the official weight for Paulo Costa.
The guy went on my bedroom 7 a.m. I was on the way to take my blood. Focus that.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a prelim at bantamweight, Orichi Lang. $136 for Orichi Long. All right, next athlete to hit the scale competing in the UFC's featherweight division, Luis Saldana.
$145.5.
145.5, the official weight for Luis Saldana. All right, next athlete to weigh in, we go back to the welterweight division as we say hello to A.J. Fletcher.
$170.5.
170.5 for A.J. Fletcher. All right, next fighter to weigh in the UFC's bantamweight division, Jay Perrin.
$136.
136, the official weight for the Joker, Jay Perrin. All right, next athlete to hit the stage, competing live on pay-per-view here tomorrow in the UFC bantamweight division, Lucia Putilova.
$135.5.
135.5, the official weight for Lucia Putilova. All right, next fighter to the scale is the 13th ranked UFC heavyweight contender, one half of the featured prelim, live on ABC, Alexander Romanov. $239.5, the official weight for Alexander Romanov. All right, next athlete to hit the scale, competing in the UFC's featherweight division. The sniper is in the building, Sean Woodson.
$146.
146, the official weight for Sean Woodson. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a featured bout live on pay-per-view in the UFC's bantamweight division, the number 6 ranked contender, Merab Dvalishvili. 136. The official weight for Merab Dvalishvili. All right, next fighter to the scale, the former undisputed UFC middleweight champion, back for the first time in a long time, Luke Rockhold.
$185.5.
185 and a half, the official weight for Luke Rockhold.
What? What you want? I got work to do, man. Fucking let's go.
He's in good spirits.
All right, next fighter to weigh in, competing on pay-per-view tomorrow night in the UFC's light heavyweight division, Tyson Pedro.
$205.5.
205 and a half, the official weight for Tyson Pedro.
Thank you.
I'm feeling sexual. I'm feeling sexual. Damn, I thought we was gonna get there. That's pretty good though. 2 left.
Actually, Jose Aldo Martin.
Oh, 3. Yep, 3 left. Yep, I didn't see. All right, so 3 left at this point, man. Crazy, busy start to the morning for sure. So, at this point, here's what we got. We're just waiting on Jose Aldo, Marcin Tybura, and Leo Santos. So, crazy. I did see you guys, a couple were saying, so I guess the mics didn't completely pick up on what Paulo Costa was saying. He was saying F USADA. He said USADA showed up at his room at, I think he said 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 while he was cutting weight this morning. So he was saying F USADA, which, to be honest, does seem like a weird time for USADA to show up, especially if they need a urine test. But on weight cut, morning of fight week, I understand, but morning of weight cut day, like, and you need urine from a guy that's cutting weight and is probably dehydrated. Well, I mean, look, if you're cutting weight and you can pee, you're gonna pee. But I'm just saying, like, because think about that, like, what does USADA have to do if you can't pee? They have to sit there and wait for you to pee. So that means they have to stay with you the whole day. If you're dehydrated and you don't have any pee, then that means they're just following you around here for hours, and then, you know what I mean? So I don't know. So it's a weird choice, and I'm not saying USADA's not within their rights to do that, but it's a weird decision. So anyway, that's what he said. California loves saying Luke's a dork. All right. He hadn't done this in a while. He's out of practice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tyson's back. Denial. He broke my heart. Said he's not playing the same walkouts on. Crazy. So was Richard Noggin. Said, I had MRSA in my leg after a friend threw a steak knife at me and it stuck in my leg. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Had to cut a tennis ball size abscess out of my calf. That's brutal. Appreciate everybody's joining this morning. It's been a while since we've been able to do one. Schedule's been a little crazy. Damn, T-Bone, I forgot about that $25. He's unique. Denial, I like that. He's unique. And there, Richard, he does have a big old chip on his shoulder. There's no doubt about that. It was an intense pre-fight media scrum, to say the least. But I did see that he did shake Dana White's hand yesterday at the press conference, so we'll see. I don't see this fight with Paulo Costa lasting very long. One way or the other. Luke Rockhold's dog just barked in the background. Get these main event photos edited real quick. Denial. That would be cool putting up graphics, but you gotta remember, I'm a one man band right now. Yeah. T-Bone. Yeah. Usually, there's a block of about an hour that Dana does all his interviews on Tuesday of pay-per-view week, so that's why they kind of keep coming out at the same time. Luke's dog barking a little more over there. Richard, I did not get a good look at his shin. It was blocked by the scale, unfortunately, but yeah, you're right. Hopefully it's in good shape. And look, he says he's healthy. He says he's good again. So he's been taking care of it, so. Luke's dog's barking quite a bit back there. I'd like to think that he's just like barking at Paulo Costa. Just that'd be hilarious. Oh, those are two dogs back there? What's up, Scott McCray? Good to see you in there, my man. Appreciate that. Yeah, road show was fun. It was nice to actually be with Cold Coffee and be on the road, man. It was good. And Jeff Kane. Yeah, the chin is definitely the concern, no doubt. T-Bone. That's funny. Oh, I think I see Tubura's corner, so Tubura must be here.
All right, next fighter to the scale, half of the featured preliminary bout in the UFC's heavyweight division, the 11th ranked contender, Marcin Tybura. .252 and a half, the official weight for Marcin Tybura.
I mean, when it's 9:26 and you already got all your heavyweights weighed in, that's a good day right there. Yeah. Oh, sweet. So at this point, we're just waiting on Jose Aldo and Leo Santos. Good morning. All right. Got those photos. I don't know why the dog's barking in the back is cracking me up, but I feel like we may be getting some new rules, some new weigh-in rules soon, like pets not allowed. The Utah Sports Commission logo does look like a strange ghost, doesn't it? Yeah, no, I was a little surprised they moved Tybura and Romanov to the prelims as well. I mean, I think, Kim and Pudilova, they'll be entertaining. They like to crack, they both like to scrap. But I don't know. I mean, maybe ABC, ESPN wanted like some ranked heavyweights or something, I don't know what. There's a lot of stuff that goes into those bout orders moving around sometimes, so who knows. Perry and MVP. It feels like MVP's the right pick there, right? I mean, longer, slicker, cleaner, faster. But I mean, if Perry can make it a scrap, like this seems like a sport that's kind of made for him. So I'm intrigued by it. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you saw the video. They did a face-off outside in London, and MVP was wearing glasses, and Perry like actually grabbed his sunglasses and lifted them up on his forehead. I thought was like, whoa. And MVP didn't flinch, which I guess is cool. Like, all right, whatever. I didn't move, but I don't know. It's kind of weird, like reaching up in his face and touching your opponent's glasses. Like, ooh, I don't know. Yeah, Scott Luke has been pretty salty this week for sure. California Love. My kid has been to a couple fights. Usually he'll come with my wife. He'll come to some shows in Vegas. He did a show in San Antonio one time when Roxy was fighting on the card because I was his jiu-jitsu coach at the time. But he hasn't been to a ton of fights. Hopefully one of these days I'll have the little man working alongside me. Like, where's my Reebok gear? I think Usyk. I think Usyk's got. Yeah, denial. I don't expect this pay-per-view to sell real well, to be honest with you. But I am intrigued by the fight. B Barber, nope. No one missed weight yet. We're down to just two people. Galactus, you're damn right. Just fights. That's what we're about. That's what we're always gonna be about. Yeah, denial. If we had a graphic, that'd be great. But remember, it's just me, bro. I'm taking photos, updating the website, shooting the video. I'm not even a trained videographer. 7 a.m. Galactus graphics are for casuals. dabbed myself with my wristband. Bizarre. Oh, Scott McCray, no cold beer. It's crazy, man. Got about warm beer here in Salt Lake City. Terrible. Terrible. I appreciate it, Galactus. Slowly but surely, we'll be building up. All right, so let's see. Just waiting on Jose Aldo and Leo Santos right now. Huh. No Viniegas. Bet they didn't even put that together. I wonder if they'll show up together. They might be cutting weight together. Thank you, California Love. Appreciate you. Nah, no reason. My man Cold Coffee over here sitting next to me. All the drama kind of came out of this one today. Main event, first two up. Only 37 minutes in, only 2 to go. We'll have ceremonial weigh-ins this afternoon, so because it's the pay-per-view, of course, we'll bring them back. 4 p.m. local. 5 p.m. Eastern. No, 6 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, just kidding. Yeah, getting past the summer, Richard. It actually dropped like 15 degrees here today. It's been really hot all week long. And today it's only a high of like 80, something like that. Kind of nice. Chef Kane, you gonna go into the teaching business? Couldn't put up with kids, man. I love my kids. I couldn't put up with kids. Yeah, they said health issue. I'm assuming it was a weight cut situation. Scott, that's all they said, just health issue. Yeah, denial's crazy. PFL, BKFC, UFC, boxing. Hell of a day. I played baseball my whole life as a kid, too. But yeah, I never watch a game anymore. I tried to take my wife to a game one time and explain it to her. She grew up in Mexico and didn't watch it. I'm like, man, it's such a simple game. But when you really start explaining baseball, it's not that simple. It seems simple until you start trying to explain all the rules. Balls and strikes and what and how many and do this. It's kind of funny. T-bone. Favorite meal? Ironically, not a T-bone, but nice steak. Yeah, good steak. Martinis along with it. I'm down. Who is that? Tyson Pedro is the loudest. He's got headphones on. Yeah, it is. They're doing like the ESPN interviews and stuff like. Exactly. Yeah, they're doing the ESPN interviews behind us. And Tyson Pedro, I guess he has had a headset on. I guess he couldn't tell how loud he was being. Oh. Not denial. Nice frosty beverage. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that is my favorite meal too. Otani's pretty cool. Yeah. That is a pretty cool story. I remember they did like a Real Sports feature on him when he was still playing in Japan. And it's cool to see how good he's doing. That is pretty cool. Like baseball is enough. Hold on, could you hear Tyson Pedro? So yeah, Otani's on my radar. That's pretty amazing to be able to do. It's always weird to me. Like it seems you feel like if you're a pitcher, like you should be able to hit, like because you'd have knowledge of pitching. But obviously, it's such completely different things, man. Hitting a baseball is a skill, no question about it. Nah, Scott, you can ask all the questions you want, my man. No, CM Punk is not going to be with me next weekend. I think he's getting back to wrestling. If I saw the news right, I know he's been healing up from that foot injury, so I think I saw that he's going to be wrestling next weekend. But Dean Thomas will be there with me. Dean Thomas will be there both nights for both the grappling and the MMA. So tune in next week. UFC Fight Pass Friday, Saturday. CFFC 112, Fury Pro 5, Friday and Saturday night. T-bone, that's not even, come on, dog. You know, medium rare. You know how we do it. Medium rare. And I have been known to send it back if it's overcooked. Jose did? That's funny. Jose likes to make fun of me because we were at a nice steakhouse and they overcooked my steak and I sent it back and he was like, who sends? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He makes fun of me because, but I mean, dude, if you're going to, I'll pay for a good steak, but I don't want it overcooked and dry and I can't eat it. You know what I'm saying? It's spot on. Yeah, Jose Youngs does a pretty good impression of me. I'll give him that. I can't even argue with him when he does it. I'm just like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, we were having dinner at it was in Jacksonville. I think it was when we were stuck in the bubble, to be honest with you. Like the very first thing, there was a Morton Steakhouse inside our hotel. And so it was either like eat at the cafe, like just this little like basic cafe, or go to the steakhouse. We went to the steakhouse a lot. And Jose made fun of me because I had the ribeye and it came out like it was closer to medium well, to be honest. And I was just like, I tried to eat it and I was just like, I can't. And I sent it back and he was just like, who sends back a steak at a nice steakhouse? And I'm like, well, if I'm paying for it, I want the thing to be cooked right, you know. But I'll give it up. Jose Youngs was a pretty good impression of me. I'll still go back, T-Bone. They were nice. They took care of me. Yeah, Jeff. I worked my. They did. It was funny actually when I sent it back. They sent it. The steak they sent back out to me was like rare. But I was like, well, I'll eat it. Ooh, Chrissy J's got the solid steak game on point. It's nice when you have a nice steak at home. It is expensive to go get a nice steak, man. So if you can cook it at home, it's solid. Yeah, Denali, I think so. I talked to her at the start of camp, but I didn't get her before this interview, or before this fight, I should say. Gotta assume it's her and Pacheco that make it through to the finals. I think that's probably what everybody's picking. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow. Like I said, a lot going on tomorrow, man. Busy day. All right. Settle down now. Settle down. Cold Coffee says Jay Perrin looks like a combination between CM Punk and Jose Youngs. Man, Richard, I'm torn on that one, dude. Well, I did. I'm torn on that one, man, because you think about Marab, like relentless energy, nonstop takedowns, like the machine, right? He's the machine. Although has really good takedown defense, but is he gonna be able to stop it? The whole time. I kind of like Marab in the fight, but Aldo's a legend and still fighting at a high level. So now the fact that he's not here right now. Is that concerning? I mean, he's made this weight a couple times. I know when he first dropped to 35, we were all like, whoa. Now he looks like he does pretty healthy, but it's one of the last ones to weigh in, so is that anything? No. So, yeah, it's a tough one, man. I'm torn. I keep flipping back and forth in my head. Best arena I've ever been in. It's interesting because we don't really see much of the arena, you know what I mean? We're like in the back. It's not like we get to go see the suites or the, concourse or anything like that. I always used to love going to Montreal to the Bell Center. Super loud. Really vertical, like built for hockey. All the seats, it's like really vertical. They're like right on top, so it gets loud, super loud. Some of the shows in Brazil, the arenas certainly weren't modern by any stretch of the imagination, but the crowds made it amazing. Trying to think of any stand out. Like Madison Square Garden's cool. I mean, it's old, but it's cool. There's history and it's big, and a lot of people. And the New York crowds just have like a different energy about them. Abu Dhabi. That arena when we first were there was like still under construction, so it was kind of funny. Like, are we doing events in here? Like, there's still parts of this thing that aren't finished. I'm sure by now it's done, but they were just kind of rushing to get it done so they could have an event there. I don't have merch. California Love. Cody Merrill's always trying to get that merch tip going. T-Mobile Arena is nice. T-Mobile Arena, it is really nice. I mean, obviously, still pretty new at this point. And I actually have gone to some shows there. Not UFC events, obviously, but I actually have experienced that as like a consumer, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Richard, they fought. Originally, they fought in a temporary building, but then now they have that big arena, Etihad Arena. So yeah, we did fight we fought like I did any fight. They did hold fights in what was called the Do Arena, I think is what they called it during like the pandemic. And it was basically just like, I mean, a temporary building is the right way to say it, like a big kind of a tent thing, but like a really nice one. Years and years ago, they fought outdoors in Abu Dhabi, which was kind of cool. Like they just built like a whole structure of a stadium just for the day. It's pretty crazy. That was years ago. Saitama Super Arena is pretty cool in Tokyo. That was cool. The Sports Palace in Moscow had feral cats running around everywhere. That's one that comes to mind. If you like feral cats. Oh, yeah. Hot as hell, Rich. The first, I want to say it was Habib Poirier. Now, that was in a different temporary building. That was in a big tent. And it was hot as hell. I mean, a nice tent. Like, you know what I mean? Like a big temporary structure is the right way to say it. Like, tent makes it sound like you could go camping in it. Yeah. I bet they come together because they're both Nova and Yao. They're probably cutting together. But yeah, it was so hot and humid that the fighters, actually after the first like 2 fights or so, like the fighters in the back realized like don't bother to warm up because like it's so hot, like you're just wasting energy and your body will be, it's just warm anyway because it's so damn hot. So yeah, that one was crazy. Denial, I think. Look, I think the general thought is picking Usman, right? I mean, that's the safe pick. Why would you pick against Usman? But here's the thing. And my thing is, does Usman fall into that trap of like, I knocked out Masvidal, now I'm a striker? You know? I mean, obviously his striking has improved. He works on it. He can strike. But that, to me, is the position where he leaves himself in the most danger. So if Usman, for whatever reason, is like, I'm going to prove a point, I'm going to stand and trade with Leon Edwards, I'm going to beat him at his own game, well, I'm not saying that he automatically loses that way, but it sure does open up the possibilities. So I think Usman just needs to fight a disciplined fight and stick with his clinch game, stick with his grappling game. I think if he does that, he wins comfortably. I think it might not necessarily be the most exciting fight of all time. You know, a lot of clinch work, a lot of controlling, but that's a smart way to fight it. You guys are cool as hell, man. I appreciate that. All right, we'll work on putting something together. Mark Fellows in the house. What's going on, man? Jeff Kane, legit picking Edwards to win the fight? Is that just to be different, I guess, or just to stir the pot a little bit, or do you like really see that's how it's going? Yeah, I mean, Richard Whitman has definitely got his striking better for sure. But, I mean, let's say let's say it was just a boxing match. Like if it was just a straight up boxing match, who would you pick? I would think Edwards, right? Longer, a little slicker. T-Bone saying I think Leon might win. I'm telling you, there's more people. There's more people that I've heard this week say that they kind of think Leon has a chance. They kind of feeling it than I thought would happen. And that's kind of been my stance on this whole week. Like I do think it has the potential to be an intriguing fight. All right, Jeff standing behind it. Legit picking him. Not sold on Usman. Think the welterweight division is as good as it's presented. Interesting. I've seen a lot more of it. Yeah, denial. That's the thing. And look, this is a bad comparison to make for a number of reasons, but like, I'll make it anyway just to illustrate it. But like, when Ronda Rousey knocked out Bethe Correia, I was like, oh no, that's terrible for her because now she's gonna think, oh, I'm a striker. Like you're not. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of wondered too. Like, did catching Masvidal change Usman's mind into like, I am a devastating knockout artist, and I can stand and trade with anybody, the best strikers in the division, and I can knock them out. And if that did get into his mind, that could really influence how this fight goes. Mark Fellows, buzz in Salt Lake is actually pretty good. Everywhere I've gone, people have been talking to me about fights. So like people just like restaurants and stuff like that. Like people recognize me and they start talking about fights. So I mean, I feel like I think that's a good sign. Sounds like it's trending towards a sellout. But yeah, had a lot of people approach me and just ask me thoughts on fights. So Mark Fellows, Coke Coffee says what's happening. He congratulates your choice of stream this morning. Okay, I might have made that last part up, but he did say what's up, Mark Fellows.
Too much of a good thing is just too much. You gotta go to something less.
Oh, just saw Jose Aldo. Aldo's up next, so we'll see if Leo's with him. Is Leo with him?
All right, next athlete to weigh in today, the mixed martial arts legend, former two-time UFC featherweight champion, future Hall of Famer, and now third-ranked bantamweight contender, Jose Aldo.
You have 136 and a half.
So, yeah.
Is he good back there?
$136.
136, the official weight for the King of Rio, Jose Aldo Jr.
Sometimes it's not about the quality of the picture; it's about the quality of the people. 136. Jose was about to strip down naked right on there. Yeah, Christy. We'll wait for the curtain. He's good to go. He's good to go. T-Bone. That's funny. I theorized that maybe Leo would be with Jose, but he is not. So we're still waiting on Leo Santos at this point. No, Mark, we started going at an hour ago. We're just waiting on Leo Santos at this point. So you missed a mere 24 fighters. We had all but like 4 people in right off the top. How you doing, Mark Fellows? Cold Coffee's asking, checking in, making sure you're doing all right. Mark Fellows did check in late and thought that we were just getting started, so he may have had a good night last night. Had his time change all wrong. I guess.
I fucked up that wrong in my head.
Did you really?
I had a phone.
That's funny. Joe from H-Town. You know that's not what Dana said. I know you don't like Dana White, but he never said we won't give raises during my time here. That was taken very much out of context. Oscar's on the other side of the room. Time zones. Yeah, this is the mountain time zone here in Salt Lake. Not one that we use a whole lot. I mean, could all use a little extra cheddar. Yeah, I mean, look, there's an argument to be made in terms of like how much money is what percentage of revenues goes to the fighters. Definitely an argument to be made about that. But the guys at the top definitely do cash in. The guys that reach that level, they certainly do make significant amounts of cash. I mean, the reported figures, obviously we don't even see that many reported figures anymore, but even the rates that go to the commissions, like, those don't even tell part of the story, Nice, Mark. Appreciate you. He said Mark Fellows said he greeted you over there. Oh, well, see, Cold Coffee doesn't pay attention to the stream. You see, over that other place, they don't value their readers the way that we do. They don't value, they're not even paying attention. They're not even paying attention to the chat.
I'm on like my 4th video over here.
Employee number 2. Got to get some deals in place, but we're working on them. We're hustling. I do got my man Cody Merrow helping me out with some social media efforts and some marketing efforts and things like that. So he's kind of employee number 1.5. but hopefully we can get him on board at full time at some point. And I've had some discussions with another employee as well. But we got to get some revenue deals in place, so we're working on it. Exactly. No, they're not men of the people. Ha, Jeff Kane. It is funny, right? I do trip out. Like, do fans of other sports care about, like, athlete pays? I mean, obviously other sports, man, they're multimillionaires. But I don't know, it's weird. It's like everybody argues about fighter pay, and you really don't have all the information about it. And it's only the UFC. Nobody ever talks about it in any other organization. So, I don't know. It's wild. Denial. Cody does know graphics. I just don't get Cody Merrow full time. He's got a full time job, so unfortunately he's got a corporate gig, so I can't have him all the time. If I had him all the time, maybe we could get those graphics done. T-Bone, I appreciate that, right? And again, I wish we could do it every week too. I mean, I know consistency is massive, right, in terms of developing an audience. I know that, but it's just the reality is I can't do this every week like I used to. But boy, that's a good one right there, T-Bone too. That's a very can't be pirating pay-per-views and complaining about fighter pay at the same time, right? Yeah, Joe, it's true. I think you got to remember the infrastructure. I think that's the thing that also I think. So let's say fighter pay is 18% revenue, right? I mean that's kind of like a figure that a lot of people use, right? I believe that's what the report found, right? Now that may have changed since that report, but let's just use that as a number. I feel like a lot of people think, okay, well, fighters get 18% of the revenue and 82% goes into Dana's pocket. Like, bro, there's a lot of people working for the UFC in a lot of places around the world, and not to mention, several hundred at the office in Las Vegas. There's a huge infrastructure that has to be paid for as well. Now, are they profitable? Yeah. Are they making money? Yeah. But I think sometimes it's like they only give 18% of the fighters and they pocket the remaining 82% of revenue. Whoa. Galactus says John will never fight a heavyweight. And Mark Fellows says, talk about John Jones competing 282. I mean, you saw the tweets, yeah, from John Jones saying, it was pretty funny, right? And that's the thing about quoting tweet messages too, right? He put UFC 282 and had like the praise hands or whatever. And then and then he hit back and was like, oops, sorry, wrong emoji. Put the fingers crossed emoji. So, I don't know. I think he will fight a heavyweight. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people don't like John Jones. But, man, if John comes in and wins the heavyweight title, you got to say he's the GOAT, right? If you don't already. If you don't already think John Jones is the GOAT. If he moves up to heavyweight, after the dominant run he had at light heavyweight, if he moves up and wins the heavyweight title, even if you don't like him, you got to say GOAT, right? The only way you can not call him the GOAT, and again, I think he is already, if he wins that heavyweight title, is if you're one of these people who says, I will not have the discussion of GOAT status for anybody that's tested positive. And I understand that argument. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand that argument. But, yeah, man, I think even people that don't like John Jones, if he moves up to heavyweight and wins that belt, come on. Wow, Galactus is sold that he's not fighting. Stipe is a dangerous heavyweight matchup. Yep, there it is. Galactus, DQ. I get it. I get that argument, but to me, I don't know. That's a tough. I guess it's difficult. I guess probably like having been around the sport so long too. Like, come on, man. We grew up in the era that was like everybody was on steroids. Everybody. So I guess I've kind of gotten used to it. Like, I respect Zoo for it. I'm glad they try to keep it clean, and I do think it's important, man. Like, I will say that, like, and I'm not trying to. I'm not supporting the use of PEDs, because to me, man, this is the one. Like, and I've always said this, man. Like, this is a sport that we should try to keep clean, because, I mean, physical health and well-being is on the line. Like, you're going and try to hurt another human being. Like, not to be silly, but if you shoot up so that you can hit a baseball over a fence, like, I don't care at all. Don't care. But, you know, if you're using PEDs that are supposed to not be used and you're causing brain damage to somebody, like, that ain't good. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. Mark Fellas is on steroids. Joe, I think the people at the top are seeing a significant bump. But again, it's just kind of like how you want the structure, right? Like, look at like boxing paydays. Like, the ones at the top make insane amounts of cash, but then you got guys on main cards that are making, you know, less than UFC fighters for sure. Yeah. Like, you're taking drugs so that you can ride a bicycle faster. Like, all right. I mean, I get it. I do understand the sporting argument that, like, that means that nobody that's not taking them can compete, and it's not good for your health, but you're forced to do it because everybody else is doing it. So I understand the argument against it. But yeah. Jeff Kane just saw it. No question in my mind that John is the GOAT. I feel the same way. I think people that don't view him that way is just because they don't like him, to be honest with you. Costa was chill until today. Costa was not happy with USADA today. T-Bone Chaelson is the real GOAT. I mean, undefeated, undisputed, never lost a round. Hard to argue with you. Okay, T-Bone has GSP as the GOAT. Can't exclude him from the conversation. Like, any conversation of the greatest of all time, I think has to have John Jones. I think has to have GSP. I think has to have Anderson Silva. Galactus, he was upset with USADA. He was yelling "F USADA," and that I guess they came to his room at 7 o'clock in the morning to test him today, and so he was not happy about that. Cali Love, I'm looking at Usyk in there. That's what I'm thinking. T-Bone behind Chael. Yeah, Luke definitely has some stories. He's had some fun over the years, that's for sure. See, denial. That's wrong to me. Like, that's what we always hit when somebody dominates a division for a long time. Then you hear the argument that it wasn't deep. We heard the same thing. Anderson Silva wins 16 in a row. Yeah, but middleweight wasn't even good at the time. It's. I think people just, when somebody dominates a division, they like to say the rest of the division isn't good. Denial, not so interested in getting stoned and hearing stories. It is T-Bone. It is crazy. I think it was Brian Stan that said at Jackson's, like John would come in like hungover / still drunk from the night before and just work everybody in the room, and it made him realize, like, what am I even doing? Like, if this dude can come in here in that state and just handle everybody, like, what am I even doing? Wow. Running from the light heavyweights. All right. Like abused wives. Oh, man. Jeff Kane's old school. He remembers that. That was the lifestyle back in the day, man. That was, Chuck Liddell was legendary. We didn't used to have the professionalism in the sport like we have now. Okay. Like Lawrence Taylor? That's funny. Yeah. It is crazy to think. It is crazy to think how much money John left on the table. I mean, by all accounts, he's done pretty well for himself. Probably just fine, but it was pretty crazy to think like how many more fights he could have had. And like I said, just kind of how much money he left on the table, you know. He was just, I mean, in terms of sponsorships, in terms of, you know, where would his popularity be, but even just like the number of fights he left on the table. Even if his payday was the exact same as it is now, but just, you know, 4 or 5 more of them, if not more. Matt Hamill, the GOAT. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That one loss hanging on there. Yeah, Galactus, I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people feel that way. T-Bone. Sean O'Malley is the GOAT. I'm looking forward to O'Malley and Jan. I mean, stylistically, that's a great fight, and it's also an opportunity for everybody that's a Sean O'Malley doubter or hater. Chris, you're trying to keep it intimate. O'Malley gonna get his leg kicked in half. Meanwhile, T-Bone cheering for O'Malley. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I'm excited by that one. Such a crazy moment, man. Gosh, it's funny to like think back on stuff you haven't thought about. I'm thinking back to that night at the Ultimate Fighter finale. If I remember right, it was at the Palms. I remember being at the post-fight press conference. It was like this little tiny press room, like one of the little side rooms. John was like a baby back then. Gosh, how long ago was that? Was that 2000? No, I gotta look at it. Was that 2010? No, I'm pulling it up. You guys will probably say it before I find it. 2009. God dang. Oh, man. Yeah, I was at the Palms checking it out now. Yeah, I remember being in that little side room. Jeez. Uh-oh, we got some movement. Looks like we're bringing the screen out right away. So it looks like Leo Santos is here. Not even going to mess around with an initial weigh-in. He's going to go straight for the screen. We'll see if we're done.
All right, our final athlete to weigh in this morning in the UFC's lightweight division, Leonardo Santos.
Even.
156, the official weight for Leonardo Santos. All right, thank you all for coming out. That does it for the official weigh-in. We will see you at 4 o'clock for the ceremonials over at the arena. One more sleep. See you tomorrow night.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Appreciate it as always. Enjoyed chatting. I know it's been a while, so I'm glad we got to do this. I'm going to go edit some photos. We'll be back for the ceremonials weigh-in this afternoon. I appreciate every single one of you. Enjoyed hanging out and talking. Coke Coffee calls you all traitors, but I say you don't deserve that. I say you're very fine people. UFC 278 tomorrow. Ceremony weigh-ins this afternoon. Appreciate it. Enjoyed hanging out with you. Chrissy J, I'll try to go live more. T-Bone, I'll try to get that $25. I'm going to go get a beer. See ya. 4 p.m.